This smartphone was the first in the world to pack a new processor, the octa-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 632 chipset. At the same time, the device is equipped with a large 6.2-inch full-view screen with a notch and an aspect ratio of 19:9, a dual camera with AI functions, and a high-capacity battery. Generally speaking, the evolution of this line of smartphones is easy to trace, from the Honor 4C, Honor 5C, Honor 6C, and the Honor 7C. So, from model to model, the power of the processors used has been grown. And starting from the Honor 6C, the company preferred Snapdragon chipsets instead of the parent company's Kirin chipsets. With 5-inch, the size of the screens which already in the Honor 6C has changed to the classical 16:9 aspect ratio to 18:9 on the Honor 7C and now 19:9 on the Honor 8C. A dual camera, albeit with a small aperture lens, also appeared in the predecessor of the Honor 8C. In turn, the new model received a more capacious battery. By the way, about the cost, this device is priced at 7,990 pesos. The question is, should you buy it? Mabuhay, my name is Matthew. Welcome to Tech Arcade, and here's our Honor 8C review. It is no secret that the budget smartphones often dress in glass and metal. For example, in the Honor 6C and even in the Honor 7C, the case was aluminum. But the back panel of the Honor 8C is already made of plastic, provided in 3 colors, gold, blue, and black, which we got to our review. Thanks to a new type of coating, a silky gem-like glow created by the band of reflected light that moves and shifts when viewed from different angles, called the cat's eye. However, it is only available in the color blue. As such, this plastic panel is not as sturdy as glass. At first, the device looks even smartly and does not look like a cheap smartphone. From the design features of the smartphone, in general, inherited the family design of Honor. It is worth noting that in the case with a thickness of less than 8mm, they managed to place a high-capacity battery at 4,000 mAh. At the same time, the weight of the device is just 167 grams. In addition, due to their aspect ratio of 19:9 and a thinner frame than the predecessor, the display occupies about 80% of the front surface of the smartphone. At the top is where the front camera with LED flash located, as well as proximity sensors and notification light. However, the latter is hiding behind the speaker grille. On the chin under the display, there was enough space for the chromed Honor logo. The on-screen touch buttons of the back, home, and recent applications controls are represented by the triangle, circle, and square icons. In the settings, you can replace them with a virtual navigation key as well as add a navigation button. On the right side, there are the volume rocker and the power or lock button. On the left, there's a slot with the 3 trays, 2 for which are intended for the nano SIM cards and 1 is dedicated for the micro SD memory card. At the upper end, we have the 3.5mm jack and the primary microphone. Lastly, at the bottom, together with the micro USB 2.0 connector, we have the speaker and the secondary microphone. The new smartphone is equipped with a 6.26-inch full-view screen with an aspect ratio of 19:9. On which at an HD Plus resolution at 1520 by 720 pixels and the density of pixels per inch at 269 ppi, which is not too high. However, the grain in the image with the naked eye is not visible. To recall, the Honor 7C display size was slightly less than 6-inch or 5.99 inches to be precise, which at a resolution of 1440 by 720 pixels gave the same density of pixels per inch. The quality of the display itself is at an acceptable level and the viewing angles are decent. Some features of the screen does not seem to support HDR, however, there is an eye comfort when reading at night mode. Screen brightness can be adjusted manually or by clicking the auto. During the day, the maximum level of brightness is quite enough for outdoor use. In the settings, it is easy to select the desired color temperature on the graphics circle with 2 presets, warm and cold. Developers are focusing on an updated vision protection mode certified by TUV Rainland. Honor 8C is running Android 8.1 Oreo as the operating system under the proprietary MUI 8.2. In this launcher, we can switch between the usual working screen style with all program shortcuts are collected on desktops and the style with a separate application menu on the screen. Swipe from the top edge of the screen opens the notification panel and quick settings as well as the brightness adjustment slider. To control the smartphone, it is recommended to use the virtual navigation key or the usual system panel in 3 icons. In addition, you can activate an additional navigation button. The touchpad of the fingerprint scanner also helps to answer voice calls, turn off the alarm, open the notification panel, browse images, and from the camera. It can activate photo or video shooting. Please take note that the fingerprint registration is not required on these gestures. To quickly and easily unlock the smartphone, you can register your face. In this case, the lack of lighting is compensated by the backlit of the screen. In general, this is a good solution for a budget device without an infrared module. Of course, not too fast, but it works. Well, in addition to a large number of customization settings, the company did a good job on branded applications, among which, in addition to the installed ones present in all smartphones, there is something interesting. For example, the Health app, which is useful for athletes. There is a convenient file manager with file save space in which you can activate access only by password or by fingerprint, for example. Also available is the Game Suite, from which you can optimize your smartphone for the game as well as enable the uninterrupted gaming mode in which no other notifications are displayed except for incoming calls and notification of the alarm clock. The rear camera has a 13-megapixel main module with f1.8 aperture and an additional 2-megapixel depth sensor to help blur the background in the pictures. Meanwhile, the front camera has a resolution of 8 megapixel with f2.0 aperture. Already traditional for Honor devices, the AI mode is present in the Honor 8C. Artificial intelligence is able to determine the scene of the picture, at the same time exposing the most appropriate parameters. The maximum resolution of images for the main camera is 4160 by 3120 pixels at 4:3 format. But when the AI option is on, it drops to 3968 by 2976 pixels or 12 megapixel at 4:3 aspect ratio. The application interface has retained the simplicity and intuitiveness. So, icons at the top of the screen allows you to open the QR scanning, flash, the AI mode, or go to settings. At the bottom, we have the icons of the main modes selected by swiping it horizontally, aperture, portrait, photo, video, and more that shows the additional modes including Pro, HDR, filter, and AR lens. In the aperture mode, the value of aperture level can be changed from 0.95 to 7. The portrait mode is enhanced by the beauty effect in the range from 0 to 10 and also allows you to enable or disable the background blur effect. The professional photo mode provides manual exposure, metering, ISO values and shutter speeds, exposure compensation level, focusing method, and white balance. The filter mode allows you to overlay one of the 7 available effects, including Valencia, Nostalgia, Breaking Dawn, and etc. on the image, as well as adjust its intensity from 1:32. This is an example of a photo taken by the Honor 8C. The lighting was scarce and this is noticeable, but the flowers turned out to be quite bright and detailed. Artificial intelligence slightly pulled these shadows on the building, making the frame more attractive. However, dark objects in the frame suffer from a lack of dynamic range. As we've said, the additional camera module allows you to take a photo with blurring the background, simulating the depth of field. The intensity of the effect can be adjusted both during and after the shooting. Here are some other samples from the camera of Honor 8C. Both cameras can shoot video in Full HD resolution at 1920 by 1080 pixels in 16:9 aspect ratio with a frame rate of 30 frames per second. For compatibility, it is recommended to choose the standard H.264 or the advanced video coding, and to reduce the file size, use the advanced H.265 or the high efficiency video coding. Thus, all content is saved in MP4 container files with the AAC as the sound codec. To assess the capabilities of the audio, a collection of music of various genres has used, and everywhere, the sound in the headphones was loud and clear, except that the bass was not always consistent. Honor 8C is a good example of the fact that a decent sound can be extracted even from gadgets with an affordable price tag. Music lovers, of course, would prefer something else, but for most users, the capabilities of the device is good enough. The Honor 8C has a 32GB of internal memory. To expand this, it is recommended to use a microSD card with a maximum capacity of up to 256GB. And even in this case, you will not have to sacrifice the second SIM card in nano SIM format since the slot has 3 trays, one of which is specially reserved for the microSD card. In addition, it is also possible to temporarily expand the available storage thanks to the support of USB OTG technology by connecting a USB flash drive. 2 nano SIM cards can operate with one radio channel in dual SIM dual standby mode. The set of wireless communications also includes Wi-Fi module at 802.11 BGN at 2.4 GHz and Bluetooth 4.2. It is not only the inaccessibility of the 5 GHz Wi-Fi range, but also the lack of an NFC. To determine the exact location and navigation using satellite systems, we have GPS, GLONASS, and BDS, and assistance in coordinating cellular and Wi-Fi networks is provided by an AGPS mode. Honor 8C was the first smartphone in the world based on the Snapdragon 632 chipset, which runs on 8 Cryo 250 cores and is equipped with the Adreno 506 graphics accelerator. In everyday use, the device makes a pleasant impression. Applications run quickly when switching between them, there are no delays. The animation is smooth, there is no lag, and the device also copes with the web browser perfectly. For gaming in general, the phone cannot be called vigorous. Most likely, the reason is slow memory, especially on the record. Simple games like Candy Crush Saga or the Temple Run are quite stable. On the other hand, some games like PUBG and Mobile Legends starts only at low settings as the phone will have some stutters when it changes to medium or high settings. But playing is quite realistic, even with some visual effects. The battery capacity is 4000 mAh. For a smartphone with a 6.26-inch screen, a very decent numbers. Charging the device is via micro USB port. Honor 8C received a number of energy-saving features, including optimizing battery life and automatically reducing the screen resolution. So in everyday use, the gadget lives quietly for 2 days without recharging. And not undemanding users at all, we think that it will last for an incredible 3 days. The manufacturer claims that in a full charge, it will allow you to listen to music for 50 hours or play 11.1 hours or watch video for 12.5 hours or 50 hours to be in standby mode. In our real-time test, the smartphone lasted an incredible 12 hours and 44 minutes. Meanwhile, the stock 10-watt adapter at 2 amperes 5 volts can refill the empty battery life in just 2 hours, which is not bad considering the price. Along with a fresh energy-efficient processor, one of the chips of the Honor 8C was a high-capacity battery at 4000 mAh, which they managed to fit in a relatively thin case. Among other features of the smartphone, it is worth noting the full-view screen with thin bezels, a separate slot for a microSD card, as well as unlocking the face with a backlit screen. Slow charging, camera's low light performance, and moreover, the absence of an NFC interface and a 5 GHz Wi-Fi band are among the significant drawbacks. Of course, not everyone can approach this option. For games, it does not fit at all. This should be understood when choosing to purchase, but if you need something more advanced, then look towards the Honor 8X as it has better features and it will easily perform the tasks that the Honor AC can. If you're not particularly interested in top-end smartphones and you just need a normal phone that will perform all the standard functions, the Honor 8C is your choice. And that's a wrap-up of the Honor 8C review, and we hope you like it. Don't forget to hit the like button and click the bell button for more updates in our YouTube channel. Also, follow us in our social media accounts in Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Again, my name is Matthew and have a good day.